What is going on, everybody? My name's Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. We are back with another Booker's Bourbon review. This is a very special one. One of my patrons, Christopher David, thank you so much. He sent me a couple samples. This was included. Booker's 30th anniversary. Cannot be more excited. Let's talk about Booker's a little bit first. Now, this is the 30th anniversary batch of Booker's. So it's been 30 years since they first released the batch of Booker's, named after Booker Noe, who was master distiller at Jim Beam. Fred Noe is now taken over, but this is his namesake bourbon. If you guys watch my channel, you know I review several different types of Booker's. I've done 3 so far on the channel. So I'm a big Booker's fan myself. This 30th anniversary bottle is one I've been wanting since I heard it was coming out. So I could not be more excited to get a sample of this, and I cannot thank you enough. But Booker's is very, very interesting. This bottle itself is actually a combination of 16-year-old and 9-year-old bourbon. Now, 70% of the bourbon actually comes from 9-year-old barrels, and then the other 30% is 16-year-old barrels. So standard Booker's batches are usually between 6 and 7 years aged, but this specific one obviously is nearly double that age on average. So it'll be interesting to see if any flavors, nosing, tasting notes are different between the two just based on that. This does come in at 62.9%, so quite high. They do age it in level 4 char barrels as well. So the highest char you can get, at least with Jim Beam. And good specs on the bottle. I mean, it's going to be a hot one. I actually brought some water today so I could add some water to it to see if it changes. Anything over about the 115 proof, I like to add water just to see if it does open up or change the flavor at all. Mash bill is undisclosed on this, so we don't really know what the mash bill is on this, but let's get into the whiskey here. Could not be more excited about this. Been wanting to try this for so long. I'm going to save some of this for sure. So let's go ahead and start out with just the color on this. Definitely a medium amber to dark amber color, I would say. As far as the legs go, there's a little bit sticking to the glass. Not a huge amount, though, as I was expecting with the the higher proof, unfiltered, which all Booker's batches are unfiltered. So, and I do see some legs running down here now, but the color is very nice. Very nice medium brown color there. Let me get a coin on here. I'm using coin 39 today, guys. Just want to put this on, trap some of those aromas in there before we go into the nose. If you guys are interested in getting a challenge coin, I've still got several available. Go ahead and shoot me an email at bourbinsane@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram as well. So, all right, let's go into the nose on this. Oh, whew. It's hot. It's hot on the nose, which of course I'd expect, but it is just brown sugar, clove, baking spices, rich vanilla, rich caramel. It smells like a Booker's batch, but it's got an extra layer of sweetness. Ooh. Yeah, I'd say this is baking spice city on this. Oh, it smells really, really nice. The normal nuttiness that I get in Jim Beam products or in Booker's batches as well, it's not as amplified really in this as I was expecting it to be. If I'm searching for it, I can find the nuttiness there. It's definitely a more subtle note in this though. And as far as oak goes, the oak is present, but it's not an oak bomb, which when you're pushing 9 up to 16 years in what they used in this product, it could be too much oak. Not the case in this though. I think it's a good balance of oak with all those sweet notes as well. All right, let's give it a sip here, guys. Cheers. Well, I'll definitely say it's probably the best Booker's batch I've ever had. I probably tried 4 or 5 different Booker's batches, 3 of the 4 from last year. Just initial sip. It's very, very mouth coating. Very smooth. It didn't burn me like I was expecting. This is my first sip I've had all day, and it did not burn like I was expecting. Very smooth. All the same notes I was describing in the nose really do translate to the palate really well. Just the richness, all those baking spice notes. Toffee. Creme brulee notes. I mean, it's almost like that burnt oak. You can get the burnt oak in the flavor more. Burnt oak with the caramel and the brown sugar. It's like a creme brulee. That's kind of the palate. Creme brulee flavor. It's good. Boy, that's good. I'm amazed it was hot it's definitely hotter on the nose than it is the palate, but I'm amazed the palate isn't burning more. It's just got everything you would want in a bourbon. The nice layer of sweetness, a little bit of that spice kick, more of a baking spice kick though than necessarily like a rye kick. But the balance between oak, sweetness, and spice is so great. So great in this. Let me go ahead and add some water to this as well. I'm going to do maybe about 3 drops. We'll do 4, since this is quite high proof. Give it a chance to open up here. I'm curious to see with this proof if it's going to change the nose and change the flavor at all. So. So after adding the water, I'll say I'm pulling oak out a lot more on the nose. Still, I mean, it's still all the same nosing notes, though I described previously. They're just more subtle now. I prefer the nose definitely without water myself. Still smells great, though. It still smells great. More oak on the palate, too. Yeah, so I think the water really brings out more of those oak notes to me. Still tastes like that, a little bit of that bitter, burnt, charred oak. Again, I do prefer it without water. I would not add water. I think it's perfect on its own the way it is. All the notes are still there again, just very, more subtle. But yeah, I would go without water if possible on this, guys. Oh, that's still really good, though. All right, let's talk price. Now, first of all, if you can find a bottle of this, more power to you. My review's coming out late. Most bottles, if not all of them, are completely accounted for and gone by now. Retail on this is $200. I've seen secondary prices, especially when it was first coming out, over $300. So for $200, I can't recommend you get it at that price. It's just ludicrous to get a bottle at that price. I mean, it's definitely a collector's item. It's 30th anniversary of Booker's, so definitely a milestone bottle and definitely an awesome piece of it. It comes in a great display box. So great presentation. That they actually use the wood that the box is made of is actually from the floor of the rack house where the barrels are aged. So pretty cool. I mean, very cool story with Booker's, and marketing's fabulous on the bottles. But if you can find a bottle and $200 is not a big deal to you, which isn't the case for most of us, definitely pick it up. I mean, without question, it's fabulous, fantastic bourbon, and the $750 bottle will last you a while unless you're like me and you're going through it quick, sipping through it quick. But it really is a very, very well-rounded bourbon, everything you would want. And if you're a fan of Booker's already, this is just completely amplified to another level, really. The standard Booker's batches do run about $80, and to me, they're getting harder to recommend just based on that. Rumor has it they may be going up to $100 even down the road. If you haven't checked out my other reviews of the Booker's batches I've put out, go ahead and check it out up here. I have a couple from last year in there, so. But again, if you can, or if you have an in, definitely try it at a bar if the price isn't ridiculous. Because this is to me, this is a once in a lifetime bourbon. I mean, there's not going to be another 30th anniversary batch of Booker's coming out, so if you can get your hands on it, please do at least give it a try. Thank you guys so much for watching the review today. If you liked what you saw, please do consider hitting that like button and that subscribe button. Also follow me on Instagram at Bourbinsane and Facebook Bourbinsane. I have to give a quick thank you to my newest patron, Daniel Shook. If you guys don't know who Dan is, he actually is one of the two members, him and Sean, at Bourbon Junkies. If you guys don't already follow the Bourbon Junkies, subscribe to the Bourbon Junkies, go do it right now. They're hilarious, and they put out great bourbon reviews. So I really appreciate you all checking out this review today. Stay insane, guys.